Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
When I started this channel, I wanted to incorporate new games and old, be able to tell stories and hear stories from other people. Now, I get most people are not really interested in older game reviews. Some people, yeah, but let's be honest, there's 5 million reviews of Mario 64. It's just a fact. So this is going to be something a bit different. I'm going to take a little stroll down memory lane, talk for 5 or 10 minutes, and share some memories of games I played as a child. And I hope that anyone watching this will share some memories too. When I grew up, video games were always a big part of my childhood. We had an NES, a SNES before I was even born, and I grew up playing them non-stop, well before I could talk. When I was 3 turning 4, my mother took me to go see Santa Claus at the mall near our house. My dad might have been there, in fact he probably was, but honestly I don't remember. So he might have been working. Some details of this might be hazy, sorry guys. Anyways, so here I am as a small child, probably pissing myself sitting on Santa's lap because I had massive separation issues as a child. And I whispered into his ears in what I can only imagine was broken English that I wanted an N64 and Super Mario 64. Fast forward to Christmas Day, and lying under our Christmas tree was a long rectangular box. Ripping open the wrapping paper was my very own N64 with 2 games, Diddy Kong Racing and Mario 64. I have always had a weird ability as a child to sit still through long events, probably from watching sports, but Mario 64 took things to another level. The second my dad plugged everything in, I was ready for the 3D adventure of a lifetime. I probably spent half an hour running around like an idiot outside the castle, but I must admit, I was not prepared for stepping inside the Mushroom Castle. Kingdom? Yeah, it's Mushroom Kingdom. Jesus dude, figure your life out. I'm kinda winging some of this, so don't judge. First off, that Bowser laugh, when you walk in, yeah, that scared the living shit out of me. Still kinda does at times. I remember it saying something about having to beat the game quickly. Sorry guys, I don't remember the exact words, but I always took that as if I spent too much time playing, that Bowser was going to pop out of nowhere and just kill me. I always had these images in my head that Bowser was going to pop down from the ceiling and just eat me or something, I don't know, like I'd walk up the stairs and Bowser would just be staring there, which I guess he kind of is at times, depending on how you want to look at those paintings. I don't know, it's the mind of a 4-year-old, well, I wouldn't look too much into it. I spent hours every day after school playing this game, trying to get all 120 stars, though I had no idea it was 120 stars at the time. Just the awe of playing through the world, sitting in my dark living room, jumping around the Bomb King to the first time that floor caved in under me for Bowser's very first level, this game was my childhood. With a little help from my dad, or honestly probably a lot of help, we finally got to the 3rd floor and faced what is still my most hated level in this game, Tick-Tock Clock. I have never died so many times in a level of any game in my life. I am 100% sure of that. Now, I didn't know about stopping the platforms because I was goddamn 4, but even today, I still suck at it, so what difference would it have made if I didn't know that then? Fast forward to when I was probably 10, I think. I was playing other games, doing my thing, until someone at school told me that there was 120 stars in Mario 64. Here's the thing, as a child, I thought there was only 118. I'd been missing 2 stars in a game that I thought I'd finished about half a decade ago. So my friend, who I'll refer to as Jimmy for the sake of secrecy, came over and started playing. The first star that I'd been missing was the Princess Slide, where you have to beat it in under 21 seconds or whatever. Yeah, had no clue that was a thing. And the second one was catching Mips the Bunny a second time. You catch him before 50 stars and after 50 stars to get 2 of the stars. I had no idea, and I had only caught him after the 50 stars, so as far as we both knew, we could never get that final star. I was never going to get all 120 stars in this game. Now, fast forward to my first year of college, And fast forward slightly further from that to dropping out of my first year of college. I knew I was going back in September, but for the time being, it was mid-February and I was bored out of my mind. Nobody was hiring for jobs and I had no money to get new games. The only one that I could afford, I spent my money on Fire Emblem Awakening. Which, money well spent, not gonna lie. So I decided to go back to the well and kick it old school with some Super Mario 64. One, I had finally got all 120 stars in the game, which if we were going by absolutes only took me about 15 years to finally do. And two, I had decided to try and start speedrunning Super Mario 64, just out of my own curiosity. So every day for give or take 3 or 4 hours a day, I sat in my basement and played through the game. Now, I did work out, went for runs, I did leave my house every day to appease my parents for the most part, but I was basically just playing Mario 64 all day long. I got pretty good too. At the time, the world record was like 2 hours or something, I don't remember, but I got my time down to 2 hours and 48 minutes, which granted is absolutely nowhere near the world record, but still, I was pretty proud. Don't ask me to try and do that again, I couldn't even come close. I have had to have beat that game 120 times that year. It was insanity. How people can do that for years on end is beyond me. I do still like to do the occasional 16-star run for a quick playthrough, but not really that much anymore. Every year, I usually take some time to play Mario 64, just because of how iconic it is and how much of my life sort of revolved around it as a child. Now, sadly, I didn't do it in 2017, but I'm doing it in 2018 clearly because I gotta get something for this video. So that should be fun. Anyways, those are just some of my memories from Mario 64, the ones that are clear. Thank you guys for walking down memory lane with me. So, I don't know. I don't have an intro for this. Okay. Yeah, did I mention that I was kind of winging this for a bit of it? Okay, let's just go with the standard. So, thank you guys for listening and watching. Comment your favorite memories with Super Mario 64 below. I'd love to hear other people's memories of this game and see how it shaped people's lives. Until then, later, Internet.